Hey everyone, I want to take a break from the book writing series that we've been doing to share something super important and super timely with you as you prepare to go into the summer season. Are you ready, and is your momentum built up enough to sustain you through the summer in your creative business? Let's get into it.
Equipping creative businesses to unleash their best work.
All right, welcome back to the Chief Creative Podcast. I'm your host, Dustin Pead, and I am the founder, owner of Chief Creative Partners, where we help you create because we operate. And today I want to share some insight because I'm about to leave tomorrow morning to go on one of my spring trips to see a couple of clients. And we specifically do 3 annual sessions every year, half-day sessions every year, in person, to make sure that we are defining, sustaining, and ultimately meeting our goals as a business, operationally speaking, every single year. And so at the beginning of the year, usually in the first 6 weeks of the year, I'll spend a half day with my clients and we will define what does success look like for this year? What are our markers of what success looks like? How are we going to measure that this year was a win for us? And we'll story that out, right? We'll dream a little bit, and then we'll get really realistic about some mile markers throughout the year that are going to help us achieve that goal in our business. And we all know that goal setting is well and good, right? And it's much needed. But usually what happens, sometimes by March, but definitely by the time the summer hits, is we've lost a ton of momentum. So the second session that I do in person with my clients is right around now in the springtime, sometime between the beginning of April, the end of May, depending on what the flow is like for them and their community. But this spring session in person, half day, I just call it summer momentum preparation, right? And here's what's required before we get into it, right? We're going to bring the annual goals from our first session of the year. We're going to bring a status update on each goal, right? We're going to bring, here's what we know about our vacation time off schedules, not just internally with our team, but also on the client side as well. And then we're going to also bring, are there any big summer project commitments, whether they're internal or external, that are already booked? And we're going to break up this half day agenda into 5 blocks. And the first block is this. It's a momentum check, right? How's the year going so far? What's working? What's not working? It's a little bit of a SWOT analysis, right? We're going to review annual goals, which ones are on track, which ones are slipping. We're going to do an energy check. How's your burnout? What's the risk of burnout for you or the team here? What's draining you most right now? And then we're going to start to get into a summer mindset. What are you hoping summer looks like this year as opposed to previous years? That leads us into block 2. We have to plan for the summer, because if we just let summer happen and everybody goes their separate ways and it's hard to communicate, then all of a sudden we get into the fall and we're extremely overwhelmed, because not only are we playing catch up from all the summer stuff that got dropped, but now we're also trying to end the year strong with the goals that we set at the beginning of the year. And it's a little bit of a multi-car pile up on the interstate of your mind. So block 2 is going to be the summer challenge planning, right? So who's taking time off and when? We're talking about the owner. We're talking about the team. We're talking about key contractors. We're talking about clients, right? And how is that going to impact client delivery? This is where the do versus do strategy really comes into play, because now we need even more margin if team and client are taking time off. So with that in mind, what coverage or handoff plans do we need to put into place, right? And should any of these projects pause or slow down intentionally? Sometimes that's super okay to do that. Say, hey, we're going to pause for the summer because realistically we're looking at what we got coming up. We're going to pick it back up at the end of summer, say August or so that we can finish the year strong on this thing. We're also going to look at burnout prevention strategies. So what are the patterns from past summers that we should avoid? And how can we build in some of that renewal margin during the summer? Are we taking our active creative renewal and fuel days? And what boundaries need reinforcing? Boundaries within yourself and your own home and your own family, with your clients, with your team. Are there boundaries that have begun to slip a little bit that we were super important to us at the beginning of the year that we need to reinforce? Now's a good time before we enter the summer to reinforce those. So part of that summer prep as well is capacity planning for Q3, because when summer is over and the dust settles, guess what? Now we're in to Q3, right? July, August, September. So what's the realistic capacity giving the summer schedules? What are the things that you're like, we can take this on during the summer, right? We know that capacity is super important. And so if our capacity is a 9 out of 10 during, lighter months, then maybe we plan for like a 6 out of 10, a 60% capacity during the summer months, because we know that things are going to be traveling not only with us, but with our clients as well. And are there any client expectations that need managing now before we get into the summer? Have they started to ask already about some things that they want to see delivered come fall that you'll need to spend your summer working on that you may not have capacity to work on? Or you do have capacity to work on it, but you don't have a plan for that. So that's block 2, the summer challenge planning. Now we move on to block 3. This is where we kind of prevent, right? This is priority derailment prevention is what I call it, right? So we're going to ask ourselves, hey, what typically pulls us off course in the summer? What are the shiny objects that are most tempting to chase right now and distract? Are there any projects that have some scope creep patterns that we need to address? And what's the urgent but not important items that are dominating our summer usually that we need to figure out where to put in its proper place? So in order to protect those priorities, you need to ask yourself, hey, what are the non-negotiables? And I would say no more than 5. You need to be able to count them on one hand at the most. What are the non-negotiables for our business for the summer month? And let that be your rally cry throughout those months. What can we intentionally pause or delay until the fall? It's okay for intentional procrastination here if it's not as urgent and important as other things. Maybe you've derailed from the beginning of the year. Maybe we need a refocus plan for the summer. So if you've gotten derailed, how do we course correct quickly through the summer so that when the fall hits, we are ready to finish strong with the goals that we stated at the beginning of the year? What's super important is to try to keep your meeting rhythm patterns as much as possible internally with your team throughout the summer. So if you have a quick 30, 15 minute, something like that, weekly check-in structure for accountability, keep that. Even if not everybody can show up, keep it. So now we're going to look a little bit further in block 4, and we're going to start capacity and project planning for Q3, because if we don't start doing that now, then by the time Q3 actually gets here and we get back from all the summer chaos, then we're going to be up in arms about where we need to start, but it's too late because things are really close to those DUE dates that we talk about all the time. So we're going to look at July, August, September, and we're going to create a roadmap month by month. What needs to happen in what order? What needs to happen first, second, and third in order for what we said at the beginning of the year to be true? What projects can we complete before summer distractions even start? Hey, we've worked real hard to build up some margin. Let's use some of that margin now to get ahead on some of our summer projects before the summer distractions start. Hey, which projects are best suited for the summer pacing? Maybe there was a project that you internally or with a client had dreamed up as an eventual type of thing. And you know what? The pace of the summer for you and your business is the perfect time to attack that. Maybe it's time to resurrect that and bring it back into the fold. Are there any opportunities in front of you that you need to front load your work in May and June to be prepared for July, August, and September? What about your team? Do they need coordinating? How do we keep the remote team or the distributed team connected throughout the summer, right? If we're not intentional about that culture, then the culture will happen with or without our intentions. And so we want to come in and say, this is what we're going to be about. We're going to be super intentional about remaining connected even during the chaos of summer. All right, are there any team rhythms that need to be adjusting for the summer schedules? I think the stand-up meeting for accountability is important, but maybe there's another bi-weekly or monthly meeting that you can take a pause on for the time being. And this one's super important with your team too. What are the communication expectations during vacation time? You as the owner, hey, what do I expect to hear from you or to not hear from you while I'm on vacation and I can honor my time with my family, and vice versa? What are the things that you can expect to hear from me and not hear from me while you're on vacation enjoying time with your family, friends, and loved ones? We want to honor that because that's what builds the culture. And defining those expectations up front is what will set us up for success in Q3. Same goes for our clients. Do any of our clients need any proactive expectations set about communication before the summer? Hey, I know you're super demanding. I need you to know that during this month and this month, we have this going on and this going on. I'll remind you when it gets closer, but just so you know, I'm out. Here's who you can redirect all your communication to while I'm out. Here's who you can redirect all your communication to while they're out. And just in real time, build in the triggers to update your clients about those things. Are there any delivery timelines that we need to start negotiating now rather than later when we get into the summer and people are hard to reach? All those things are important to take into consideration for team and client communication and expectations through the summer leading in to Q3. And the last block is pretty simple, right? Now it's time to put into action, like we're going to plan the action and the deliverables for the next 30 days so that as we end our Q2 and we enter into summer, we're going to prepare the best way that we can for what we know is about to come our way. So what must happen in May in order to set up summer success? What vacation coverage plans do we need to finalize? Whether it's I need to cover someone else or they need to cover me, what does that look like? Are there any client communications that we need to go ahead and start dripping this in because we know that they don't hear us until after we send 2 or 3 emails? So let's start sending those emails now. Let's start bringing it up in our check-in meetings with our clients right now. Are there any proactive project completions to prioritize? Meaning there are projects that are open right now that if we can get ahead and get that done before the summer hits, it will give us a lot more room to do the things that we know we need to do to keep momentum moving in to Q3. So we're going to document all these things, right? We're going to put a 1-page summer strategy action plan in place. And what that's going to include is vacation or time off schedules for everybody. It's going to include our capacity commitments through the summer and in the beginning of Q3. It's going to include our priority protection agreements, like, hey, these are priority. This is our non-negotiables, right? It's going to include our immediate action plan for the next 30 days to get us there. And then everything that obviously we do at Chief Creative Partners to help you implement that support will be a part of that as well. And so I share this with you because I think it's important, whether you work with us or not, that you enter into summer very intentionally so that by the time you get to the fall, you're not drowning in the chaos and you're not so far behind. So I wanted to just step in, break up our series that we're doing, writing the book right now, and just share with you, now is the time, if you haven't already, to be super intentional about planning your momentum and how you're going to keep that up and how you're going to continue to achieve your goals during the summer when it tends to be a little bit of a chaotic time in communication and people are scattered all over the planet, right? So if you don't have that in place, set a half day with you and your team coming up very, very soon, hopefully before the end of May, so that you can get that done as you move into the summer months. If you'd like more information about how to work with Chief Creative Partners, and this sounds really interesting to you and you'd love for us to help walk you through this summer prep strategy session, you can reach out to us at chiefcreativepartners.com. Book your free 30-minute discovery call there. Next episode, we'll dive right back into the book writing for creative work, 10 systems that every creative business needs. And you're going to experience that in real time with me as we're starting to flesh out all of these ideas and frameworks that we've put into place over the years with our clients into kind of a top 10 list of systems that all creative business needs in the book that hopefully will come out in 2027. But we're going to write that this year with you in real time so that if you have questions, you can reach out to us and maybe that'll help us write the book better. Also, it helps us to just be able to kind of talk it out and really get how we want to word this thing out. So you're seeing us write this book verbally in real time. Join us next time for that as we continue that book writing journey on the Chief Creative Podcast. Have a great week.